There was a woman named Martha who loved to keep her hair perfect every day. She spent hours brushing, curling, and spraying until every strand sat exactly where she wanted it. Her friends often joked that her hair was so solid it could withstand a storm. And Martha took pride in that reputation. She believed that presentation was everything, and her hair was the crown that told the world she was in control. One morning, Martha was running late for a community brunch. She rushed into the bathroom, grabbed a can from the shelf, out checking the label, and sprayed it all over her head. She felt the mist settle and stiffen almost immediately. She smiled at her reflection and said, "Perfect, hold as always." Then she stepped back and realized with growing horror that the can in her hand was not hairspray at all. It was Gorilla Glue. Her heart sank as she remembered the last time this had happened, months ago, when she had accidentally done the very same thing. She had spent weeks with rock-hard hair and had become the subject of endless gossip and online jokes. She had sworn she would never repeat the mistake, yet here she was again, staring at her shiny helmet of glued hair. Martha tried to stay calm. Maybe it was only a little. Maybe she could wash it out. She leaned over the sink and scrubbed with shampoo, but the glue clung tighter than ever. She tried hot water, cold water, even vinegar. Nothing worked. Panic rose in her chest. She tugged at a strand, but it did not move at all. Her entire head felt like a single solid piece of plastic. She wrapped a scarf around her stiff hair and hurried to the brunch, hoping no one would notice. But of course people noticed Martha. "Why is your head not moving?" someone asked Martha. "Why does your hair shine like polished wood?" Another whispered, "She looks like she sprayed her head with lacquer." Martha forced a laugh and said, "Oh, it is just a new style." But inside she was mortified. She excused herself early and rushed to the emergency room. Once again, the nurses recognized her immediately. "The Gorilla Glue lady has returned," one said, trying not to laugh. Martha buried her face in her hands. The doctor shook his head. "Martha, we talked about this last time. You must keep that glue far away from your bathroom shelf." "I had moved it, but I guess it rolled back behind the hairspray." The doctor sighed and began the long process of loosening the glue from her scalp. It would take days, maybe weeks of careful treatment. Word spread quickly through town. And once more, Martha became the center of jokes. Neighbors whispered, "She did it again. Can you believe it? She glued her head twice." Teenagers pointed and laughed. Adults shook their heads, wondering how the same mistake could happen 2 times, but Martha was not completely defeated. She walked around with her stiff, shiny hair and pretended it was intentional. She told people it was a bold new style, called the eternal hold. Some laughed at her. Some even clapped, saying she was brave to own it, though everyone knew it was the result of her unfortunate accident. After weeks of treatment, Martha finally managed to free her hair, though it was damaged and patchy. She swore again that she would never allow Gorilla Glue near her bathroom. This time she put all her adhesives in a locked box in the garage and taped a giant label on every can in her house: "Hairspray Glue Paint Cleaner," so she could never confuse them again. Yet deep down, her friends still worried because Martha was forgetful and hurried and had a habit of repeating mistakes. They joked that one day she might do it a 3rd time. Martha just rolled her eyes, but a small part of her wondered if they might be right, and she promised herself that if it ever happened again, she would simply shave her head and start over still whenever she passed a mirror. She remembered the weeks when her hair did not move an inch, and she could not help laughing at the absurd memory. Even if it had been embarrassing, the story of the woman who glued her hair twice would follow her forever.